So our first question is from Richie Budd. And he said, can you do a quick review of well-formed outcomes? And how do we know if it's a well-formed outcome? What qualifies it as such? It's a good question, Richie. What I love about well-formed outcomes, and I know you've done a lot of training in Orlando, so I know you've got your manual somewhere. If you look at your NLP manual, you'll have a copy of what the poster that was on the wall on a page talking about the 4 conditions that creates a well-formed outcome. So we want it to be stated in the positive, because as NLPers, we know that if we're telling ourselves, I don't want this, chances are our unconscious is going to be taking us towards what we don't want. We need to be assured that we have all the resources we need to achieve that goal. Now, sometimes when you've got a project or something that you're working on, you may need to get resources that you don't yet have. So what resources do you have that will enable you to achieve the goal? And what resources do you need, and how are you going to get them? And then there's another test. Again, it's on that sheet that's in your manual, to ensure that it's testable in all senses. So can you actually get clarity on what it is? Can you see it clearly? Can you see it? Can you feel it? Can you hear it if there's sounds? I think in the early days of NLP, there was an awful lot of see what you see, hear what you hear, feel what you feel. So can you get it in all the senses? How real can you make it in your mind? Because I often find when I'm coaching, and I'm in a minute, Steve's going to give you his thoughts as well, because I know that he's sitting there and he's got something to add. It wouldn't be Steve if he didn't have anything to add.
We'll find out.
So when you've got your goal in mind, a lot of people, they'll say, well, there's this thing I really want to do, and you know, I just can't see myself doing it. And they don't even know where they're going. They don't know what they need. They don't know what they have, what they haven't got. And a lot of them, they don't really know what it is. They haven't thought about it. They haven't gone through a process to decide whether it's what they really want. Is it good for them? And now we get to the last test, which is ecology. How will having this affect you, your family, your loved ones, your career, your business? What's going to be different as a result of having this goal? Now, some of these questions I'm throwing out at you may sound familiar. They should, because they're all in your NLP manual. So there are questions in your NLP manual that help take you through this process so that you can make sure that you've got a tick. First test, is it positive? Is it in the positive? Second test, what resources do I need? Do I have them? Yes. Or if I don't have them, what do I need to get and how do I get them? Third test, can I see it? Can I hear it? Can I feel it? Can I smell it? Do I get that taste of success? And then, is it good for you? If you get a tick with all of those tests, it's a well-formed outcome. Steve.
Okay, so great question. It's a big question, okay? It's a question which relates to both of the lessons that we've covered this month in the Secret Agents of Change membership group, okay? First Thursday of the month, we did a training session on diagnostics. Where do you start?
Yeah.
You know, where's the best place to start? Where are you going? Because that seemed like a good place to start. So that's part of the journey path for practicing your practice. Last Thursday, for growing your practice, the subject was preeminence, greatness, which is positioning. And we chose that subject because it kind of determines the attitude, how you show up. Okay. So if you're showing up in a way where you're kind of just cruising through it, you're drifting, a bit mediocre, you're kicking the tires, you're not really playing full out, that's going to have a huge impact on everything that you learn and everything you do thereafter. So we wanted those two pieces, diagnostics and preeminence, in at the very beginning for those two journey paths. Okay. Practicing your practice and growing your practice. I think conditions of well-formed outcomes goals is one of the next pieces that we could probably, and that's not necessarily in the journey path in the right sequence, but I think it's something we could probably spend a bit of time on and go quite deep into. Okay. Now, the time we got here, this live AHA session, we're probably not going to be able to go as deep into subjects as we can during the full lessons. Because if you look at all those 4 stages that Tina's talked about, every single one of those is probably worthy of an extra hour at least. Yeah. And for me, especially the last one. I was just about to qualify what I said, especially, because I don't think you get to the last one unless you've got the other 3. Yeah. So we go, what do you want? Why is that important? I really understanding why that's an important question is fundamental to, if someone comes in and says, I've got a problem, where are you going? So it links in with the diagnostics. If you don't know what you want, how do you expect to get it? Okay. That links into this as well. The well-formed conditions give you clarity of direction. And you'd have heard this in people's language where they go, I don't know what I want yet. I can't see myself doing it. It tells us where some of the work is. And they may not be able to see it yet because there might be some things that are blocking them. There could be some resistance, and that could be part of the ecology check. So it's one of those subjects where we can go through the list, just like Tina's done, go through and practice it. But I think we've got to go a little bit deeper into each of those subjects. Don't you agree, Tina? Yeah.
I do. This is like one of the prime things that I do with a client in a client session. I mean, just yesterday, somebody booked in to come to see me because they wanted to stop lying. She needed to stop lying to save her marriage, is what she said on the phone.
Yeah.
And then when she filled out her form, the language on her form didn't match what she told me on the phone. So now I'm thinking, ooh, this isn't just about lying. There's something else going on here. Mm. And then when she turned up for the session, we ended up doing a lot of coaching around the fact that she was in a dysfunctional, abusive, controlling relationship. And that was all when we looked at the well-formedness of her stopping lying. So she wanted to be her honest, truthful self. Yeah, tick. She could do that. She does it everywhere else. The only person she lies to is her husband. She does it at work, she does it with friends, family. He's the only one she lies to. And now I'm thinking, why would she lie to him if she doesn't lie to the other people? And then you go to the whole ecology thing, and it wasn't testable in all of her senses because she lied so that he didn't beat her. So now it's not ecologically sound.